Why are you so forceful at this biscuit factory? Nobody's gonna hire you.
Hello and good morning.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
How do we get off center?
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige.
And boy, oh boy, do we got news. Have you, Saige?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I have to do this. I have a quick Morbius update.
You have a Morbius update.
I have a quick Morbius update. As you all know, I was kicked out of Morbius for laughing too much.
Right.
And it is my contention that I was laughing exactly the perfect amount for Morbius.
Right.
I received a text message last night from Brian Wecht, host of Late Night, member of Ninja Sex Party, producer of his podcast. Got a text.
Okay.
Would you like to see this text?
Yes, please. There's so many layers here.
That's the spreadsheet, and I don't know why.
Anthony! You didn't see anything.
If Anthony ever comes on the podcast again, tell him I'm sorry he got kicked out. I work at the Alamo on the weekends and was working this showing. The dude making the complaints against him being too loud was honestly being a sourpuss and didn't tip.
Fuck that guy. Tip your haters.
And didn't tip. I'm just going to say it. I knew this had to be the case.
I knew that guy didn't tip. Roll it one more time.
There was one Morbius lover, serious Morbius lover in the audience.
Morbius lovers don't tip. You heard it here first.
Who was sitting somewhere in my vicinity and did not like that I was enjoying Morbius.
I feel very, very comfortable saying that fans of Jared Leto's Morbius don't tip. I am not shocked.
So there you go. If there's only one person who took Morbius seriously in the world, and not a tipper. Not a tipper. I tipped after I got kicked out. I made sure.
Yeah, of course.
The guy was kicking me out. He was walking me to the door. I was like, hey, do you want me to settle up? Because I think normally when they kick people out, they just they have their card on file already.
Yeah.
Because they take it in the beginning at the Alamo. And I think they're just like, well, there we go. This son of a bitch got kicked out, so nobody. And I was like, whoa. Can I settle up? I want to. Oh. And he's like,
your server.
I got to tip my server. And also
fault.
validate my parking. It doesn't matter if you're kicking me out. I still parked here.
I very briefly went into the world last night. I went to a yogurt land after Bane's break. And there's a big sign that said, if you would like a sample cup, ask for one.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 2 different kinds of chocolate, Anthony. So, of course.
You have to.
So I go up to the front and I was like, hey, at the yogurt land.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, could I have a sample cup? And they were like, we don't do those anymore. And this guy goes, where did you come from? The past?
There's a sign up.
And Kaylee Bray.
You put up a sign and you didn't take it down.
And Kaylee Bray looks at this man. And that's not the employee. That's just a man in the yogurt land.
No.
The employee said, we don't do those anymore. That's reasonable. Okay, that's a fine response. Even though you left up your sign, that's not your fault. You probably can't take down that plaque. I get that. But another customer in the yogurt land looks at me and goes, where did you come from? The past?
Oh, this guy wants you to know he's the cool king of Yogurtland. This guy, I'm sorry, maybe you don't know everything about Yogurtland, but I happen to be like a big deal in Yogurtland.
Right.
I'm sort of the lord of Yogurtland.
So Kaylee's like, no, I read the sign. And I was like, I'm so sorry, sir, that I don't know the great lay of social in Yogurtland.
And then we backed away like this.
I am not a frequenter of the yogurt.
I am so sorry. And they backed away like this.
Yeah.
Completely out. That man, Mr. Yogurt. Yes, it was Daniel Yogurt -land. That's who it was.
I'm so sorry I have offended you. I'm sorry I don't have a frequent flyer card at the yogurt land.
Imagine somebody assuming that you go to Yogurtland as often as they do.
It was just genuinely So funny. He had the
Who would
energy
be at Yogurtland all the time?
of this like ski instructor from South Park.
Yeah.
He had the energy of like a bully in an 80s movie where I was just like, oh, no, you don't understand. I am not the dork in this situation.
Yeah.
And I am the dork in most situations.
Nah, but he had like a leather jacket on, and he had like a toothpick in his mouth, and he was leaning against the wall, and he's like, "Hey, maybe you don't know about Yogurtland, toots."
He had a polo.
Did he have 2 polos and a sweater around his shoulders? And his dad owns the Yogurtland. His dad tore down the ski academy to build a Yogurtland.
At his big age, a whole ass like probably 35-year-old man. Where did you come from?
Here's the thing, and I'm saying this to everyone, but I'm particularly saying it to straight men like me who want to start a conversation with literally anyone in the world.
Right.
If the first thing that pops into your head is like sarcastic negging, you've failed.
You've already failed.
You've already failed.
Try again tomorrow.
Nobody knows you, and they don't want to start a conversation with a rude person.
Right.
If you see 2 women in a Yogurtland, number one, I don't know, maybe just eat your yogurt and leave.
Don't talk to 2 women in a Yogurtland.
But number 2, if you gotta talk to 2 women in a Yogurtland, if you're deciding it's time to shoot your shot at the Yogurtland, maybe be nice about it. Maybe start with something nice. People enjoy niceness and kindness.
I will agree with that. I will also make the addendum to don't talk to us if we're 2 women at a Yogurtland, unless you're like also 2 women at a Yogurtland. Come sit down, bestie. Let's chat.
Come sit down. You want to hang out in the Yogurtland?
If you're also 2 women in a Yogurtland, we can share a table.
Do you sexually identify as 2 women in a Yogurtland?
I think that I'm more like 2 women in a trench coat in a Yogurtland.
Yeah. 1 sample cup, please, for me, an adult who will handle it responsibly.
Right. Yes.
And then you turn into that Reddit thing where the guy's got the backpack and he's filling the soda.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, whoa, okay. The employee was perfectly reasonable and nice. You can say there's no sample cups, but buddy, sit down. You're not getting paid for this.
Yeah, that's the other thing is like,
the employee had already handled it.
You're not clocked in at the Yogurtland, my guy. You don't need to lay down the law at the Yogurtland.
They've turned down his application 6 times. Anyways, there's also games news.
He's just a yogurt enthusiast. He's not a yogurt professional.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So many games. You're right.
There's so many games.
Saige, last night I was playing Lego Skywalker Saga.
Yeah, you were streaming it.
Oh,
This really looks good.
Saige, it might be it's definitely the best Lego game ever made.
Okay.
It's one of the best Star Wars games ever made.
Wow.
I love this game so much. They have taken everything that they do in these Lego games up to like the 20,000th level.
Wow.
It's fascinating. It's like full-on open world goodness, missions everywhere, like literal different combat styles.
Wow.
And you can do combos. Everybody's special moves are like crazy over the top now.
Okay.
And like the in-jokes and the little details that are everywhere. So funny.
That's incredible.
So funny. And I will tell you what, I'm apparently not the only person that noticed.
Okay.
Because Lego Skywalker Saga has smashed the record for most played Steam Lego game by 1,200%. It is over 1,000% more popular than the most popular Lego game ever has been on Steam.
That's fantastic.
At one point yesterday, it had more concurrent players than Team Fortress, Rainbow Six Siege, and Football Manager.
Wow.
It had 82,517 concurrent players on Steam for a Lego game. A Lego game.
That's very impressive.
I love this game so much.
This is one that we've been waiting for so long. I'm so glad that people still showed up for it. My concern was definitely in the idea that people will have kind of forgotten their excitement for it and moved on by the time it came out, because it does feel like, years of this being like coming eventually. And I'm thrilled to see that people are actually showing up and playing it, and I would like to do so.
Here's the thing about Star Wars stuff is even when people say that they've cooled off on Star Wars
It's
stuff,
Star Wars stuff.
they have not.
Right.
People are like, man, I don't know about Star Wars. And then something Star Wars comes out and they're like, but you know, I think it might be time to try a Star War. It's very good. Minotaur is asking, as somebody who grew up on the OG Lego Star Wars, how similar, dissimilar is it? It's the same, but more. Like, you're still building things. It's still funny. It's still adorable. It's still mostly puzzle-based, but they've just upped it like 10,000%. It's unbelievable. There are like 350 playable characters in the game.
I remember reading that. Yeah.
Including, now, we did report that there was unfortunately a lot of crunch over the last few months at TT Games.
Yeah.
Traveler's Tales, trying to get this one out the door, and that's, we hate that.
We do hate that.
We hate that, but
what character are you playing as right now?
Well, when you play through the story mode,
Okay.
you play through, it's every movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start the game, you can play 1, 4, or 7. So I started with A New Hope.
Okay.
And in the beginning, you can swap between Leia or Captain Antilles.
Okay.
Then when you find R2 and 3PO, you swap between R2 and 3PO. Right now, I just finished up on Tatooine, and I was Luke, Ben Kenobi, R2, 3PO, and then I picked up Han and Chewie. And I mean, you're going to get different versions of these characters to unlock that have different abilities as well. So I'm everybody's episode 4 Tatooine versions.
Oh my God.
And buddy, let me tell you, yeah, some nerd was in there last night. Gonko. There are so many open world missions, and one of them was like, I walk up as Luke to this little Lego Gonk droid, and all it's saying to me is Gonk, Gonk, Gonk. But then I switch to 3PO.
Oh, and you can understand it.
And Gonk goes, my name is Gonko, and I have a great mission.
I already love Gonko.
You have to escort Gonko across the Judlin Wastes.
I just met Gonko, but I would kill everyone in this room and then myself for them.
Right? You escort him across the Judlin Wastes, stopping the Tuskens and the Jawas from stripping him for parts.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, Saige.
Yeah.
Anything that runs around,
Mm-hmm.
you can use as a mount. So I was riding Gonko during this mission.
Fuck yeah.
Right?
That's greght. All right. That's on my list.
It's very good. There was a part where I was running around in Mos Espa, or in Mos Eisley, and as Luke, and I knocked out 3 different stormtroopers, and one of them left the bottom of a minifig, one of them left the top of a minifig, and one of them left the helmet of a stormtrooper minifig. And when Luke puts all 3 of them on, he transforms into a stormtrooper.
Of course.
And you can do stormtrooper things and unlock stormtrooper stuff.
Of course.
It's a very good game.
That's a damn good game.
It's wild. So anyway, play that game.
Speaking of very good space robots, actually, I have an excellent transition here. Let's talk about Starfield.
Vasco.
We just got a video about Vasco. We had gotten a initial image of Vasco a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we got a little during the developer diary. We got like one quick shot of Vasco doing nothing.
And now we have a full 1-minute video just about Vasco. We also have my YouTube recommendations, which are all Quentin.
It's all Quentin reviews.
And then there's some Philip DeFranco, but it's a lot of Quentin. Now, mind you, I've already watched both of those videos. Please, YouTube, free me. They were 8 hours long.
YouTube, come on.
Now, let's read the headline of this really quick, because I did find this very interesting. This is from PC Gamer. They said, Starfield's Vasco is basically a robotic space donkey.
Wow.
And I was like, okay.
What is it?
Let's just watch it. Let's see where that comes up.
That's so rude.
Let's see where that comes up. Because if it was a robotic animal.
First of all, I love the design.
I'm not seeing donkey, but I'm sure something will come up.
Does he just carry things? Well, he's got a gunner mode like donkeys do. Oh, this is the production art, the pre-production art.
Yeah.
Okay, a machine well suited to the rigors of space travel. Got it.
Okay, type of bipedal chassis. Okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
They gave us a little bit on the origin of like in-game, the company that makes Vasco. It's great. Defensive capabilities. What about this as a donkey?
Is he carrying things for you? Is that
That's like a very small part
But
of
that's
him.
what I'm saying is like that
Technically, he can carry things.
But that's the thing, is that the best you have is he carries something for you. There was nothing donkey in there.
There was, truthfully, nothing donkey in there.
Ventatsu in the live studio audience says, "Ah yes, bipedal, like a donkey. Ah yes. Ah yes, with survival gear.
Much like a donkey.
Like a donkey." Okay, that's really weird.
It's an expedition robot.
Like a donkey.
Skywalker asked if he makes waffles. Like a donkey.
Yeah, like a donkey.
Oh, I finally get it. Vasco is also voiced by Eddie Murphy. Yeah. That must be it.
It's
like a
Eddie
donkey.
Murphy.
I don't know. I am very into this robot, though. I love what they've showed so far. I am very excited for Starfield. And they very much know also that, like, you could get us with the droids.
Oh, please. You put a fancy robot into a game and I'm there. I'm listening. A robot pal?
A robot pal? That's like showing us the animal companion, right? Or like coming along and being like, by the way, you can pet the dogs.
But robot pal is so much more for me than that. Like, you're right, it's the same thing, but you're going to get me more with a robot pal than you are with an animal companion. Like, I love an animal companion, but if you have a good robot pal, like a good one, I'm 100% in.
See, and it depends on the game for me. Sometimes I don't want an animal companion. Like having an animal companion ruins Fallout for me.
Yeah, if I'm a soldier or a tough wasteland
if I'm
man,
in danger, then I am no longer worrying about the game. I am worrying about being a single dog parent in the apocalypse.
And they know that, and that's their point. But I also think it's emotionally manipulative, and how dare.
No, in Fallout 4, they're like, go find your baby. I'm like, I'm raising a dog right now. The baby is gone.
The baby's way
I am
gone.
a single dog parent in the apocalypse. I cannot worry about this baby right now.
I've clearly been in a vault for years. The baby is gone. And also, probably the villain.
Right.
The farther I stay away from my baby, the better, because me and my dog have carved out a new life.
Right. My world ends at the edge of this dog. Do not talk to me about anything else. I don't care about the apocalypse. I don't care about helping you with raiders.
I only want to learn how to build a base in your game in so much as I need to put a cover over my dog for the elements. I don't want to
Correct.
build anything fancy in your game.
Absolutely. Do it all for dog meat.
Fraud Monet says, give you a robotic animal, best of both worlds. Exactly.
I'm so into that.
A robot dog is honestly, dagger earmuffs. A robot dog is honestly the best thing in the universe.
He did not earmuff.
He didn't earmuff. And I saw his ear twitch.
Oh.
He knows when I'm talking about robots. He knows. And
Not dogs.
He knows when I'm talking about robots, and he's like, this fucking guy.
Again.
This fucking guy. In other big future of the industry news.
Yeah.
Not only are we looking forward to Starfield, but Unreal 5 just officially released. They
Yes,
did the State of Unreal yesterday. A very big announcement. Of course, developers have had the Unreal preview for a long time, but this is where they officially released what the next generation of games is gonna look like.
And the images from the engine are bananas.
So I've been working with Unreal 5 for a little bit for just a project I've been messing around with.
And you're using 5? All right.
I've been going back and forth between 4 and 5. 5 is wild. Scroll through all these, because, like, come on.
That's in Unreal. That's not a picture. Like, that looks like Grand Theft Auto. Guys, that's not a picture.
Yeah, none of these are pictures. These are all, now that's, but that's stylized. Now this is their metahuman creator.
Like, holy shit. That's a real kid.
Now, the metahuman creator is also available for free to anybody who uses Unreal, and you can just make realistic humans.
That's a person.
It's pretty crazy.
We're getting into deep fake territory.
It's really wild, and the things that people are going to be able to do with this. Obviously, we've already seen some demos with it. We saw it when PlayStation, when PS5 was getting announced. Unreal 5 did a demo on the PlayStation. Of course, the Matrix VR experience.
Oh, hello? It's IGN's video player's fault.
IGN's video player rules so hard.
Literally couldn't load the video.
But if you played the Matrix VR experience or the Matrix experience, it was really wildly impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing the things you can do. And it wasn't all just, ooh, the future is coming at some point.
Yeah.
Crystal Dynamics announced during the show they are making the next Tomb Raider. They just started development, and it's all going to be in Unreal 5. Now, this is a wonderful announcement, but it's also an announcement that brings up a lot of questions, Saige.
Okay.
Because first of all, great, Crystal Dynamics bringing back Tomb Raider. It's time for a new Tomb Raider. We love it. However, I do have some questions, Saige.
What are your questions?
Now, there were rumors that Square Enix was going to sell off Crystal Dynamics to Microsoft. And, of course, they've been working very heavily on Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
And so that lended some credence to those rumors. Apparently, look, if they're working on Tomb Raider 5, they're staying with Square. So that buyout rumor is just that, a rumor. But the other thing that's interesting is if everybody is hands-on on either Tomb Raider or Perfect Dark, and we know they've pretty much taken over Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Who's working on that Marvel game? Who's working on that live game as a service that's supposed to last for 10 years that has a long roadmap? Have they decided, they're definitely giving up, right?
I think they're giving it up.
They're definitely giving up on Avengers,
I think based
right?
on, I think based on it going to Game Pass, they're giving up.
I think Game Pass sort of felt like, Game Pass sort of felt like, all right, let's goose these numbers.
Yeah.
Let's get this out there for free, and then people will see because we're going to put a lot of work into it.
And then we'll keep charging them for paid DLC.
Yeah, and all the microtransactions and everything, and the game will really take off. But no, it looks like that was not the strat at all. It looks like it was to get their numbers up. I don't know what their contract is with Marvel Studios or whatever, if there even is one. But I do have a feeling that they're not going to run that game any longer than they're contractually obligated to with Marvel.
I agree. And that might be it. That might be the end of it.
Yeah. Hey, excited about Tomb Raider 5. There was one more interesting piece of this Tomb Raider puzzle. Do y'all remember Jeff Ross from Days Gone? The director of Days Gone that basically threw his entire studio under the bus and said, I wanted to do a better Days Gone, but no one listened to me. No one listened. I wanted to do it. And everybody in the office was like, you better not.
No good games.
You better not make a good game. Jeff Ross is now on the Tomb Raider reboot for Crystal Dynamics. He's the design director.
Interesting.
They hired him on as design director for Crystal Dynamics. So he is, I guess it's put up or shut up time for Jeff Ross, huh?
Yeah, right? Okay.
Okay, let's see all those fun ideas you had, Jeff Ross.
Okay, you're going to make a really good game, right?
Yeah.
Let's see a really good game.
1, 2, 3, go, Jeff Ross. And listen, I want the game to do well. I want Jeff Ross to do well. We want everybody to do well. But, like, boy, did that guy ever throw his coworkers under the bus. And that just left such a taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it's understandable.
You know? But so there you go. Tomb Raider is being worked on. It's in Unreal 5. Jeff Ross is the design director. It is Crystal Dynamics. Big things are coming. I would say if they just started this, 2025.
I'll go soft and I'll say 24.
Could be 24.
I'll say 24.
If they hustle.
Yeah, because if they're at the point of announcing it, I know they're just talking about bringing people on, but they've then been in at least pre-production for an extended period of time.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I trust Crystal Dynamics these days about as far as I can throw him. Where's Gex Jr., cowards? Why are you sleeping on Gex?
Well, everybody can stop making games.
Oh, really?
everybody can stop making games. The list of the most discussed games so far this year has been put together. And I think you will see that
Gex Jr.
it's probably unnecessary to keep putting all of this time and budget and money into expensive games when Wordle is number 2.
Wow. Hey. There they are at number 1, though.
Genshin Impact.
Number 1. Okay.
Oh my god. The CEO of Genshin, the CEO of MiHoYo.
What, did he do it again?
I bet he's so fucking stoked about this Twitter thing. We'll get into that in a little bit.
He's gonna let Elon Musk know that he's the number 1 most talked about gamer. He's gonna be like, "Hey, Elon, do you want to come visit now?
We're popular on Twitter.
We're really popular on Twitter, and we got a lot to say about Elon Musk and Twitter."
But so number
2,
1, Genshin Impact. Number 2, Wordle. Number 3, Ensemble Stars. Number 4, Play Apex. Obviously Apex.
Okay.
Final Fantasy.
Now that's okay, but that's the entire Final Fantasy.
All of
brand.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
PJ Sakai. I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Elden Ring is only number 7.
Well,
that is just so far this year, and I understand that Elden Ring is a much more recent release.
yeah.
But also, the amount that my feed personally has been flooded with Elden Ring on TikTok, on Twitter, everywhere, that is wild to see them that low.
I'd like to see where that is in a couple months, though. I think Elden Ring's going to stick around.
Knives Out. I think that one's a mobile game.
Yeah,
One of those like PUBG likes. And then in 10th place, because it'll be on every list for the rest of our lives, Minecraft.
Project PJ Sekai is the Hatsune Miku mobile game.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that'd be fun.
Yeah. I like the Hatsune Miku games. I love the staying power of Minecraft. The staying power of Minecraft is amazing.
Is Wordle free? It would make sense since Genshin is technically free too. It is, but this is also just games that are talked about.
Yeah, and the thing
On
about
Twitter
Wordle is Wordle was very smart because
The built-in share.
of the built-in share and showing how well you did at the Wordle is making it one of the most talked about. Like the reason most people played Wordle is because they saw all of those green and yellow grids popping up in their Twitter
absolutely.
feed.
I was very late to Wordle.
Yeah.
I still do it.
I still do it as well.
It's just
when
like a
I
nice
remember.
little thing.
But do you know what? I do it when I see one of those grids on my Twitter feed. I go,
Yeah.
I haven't done the Wordle today. But I don't do it every day automatically anymore.
I do it before bed.
Oh,
It's a little. I lay down before bed, and sometimes I miss the days, and I'm doing tomorrows, and that's okay with me. I'll do the next one the next night. I do the Wordle and the Hurdle together. The Hurdle's my favorite.
What's the Hurdle again?
The Hurdle plays a second of a song, and you have to see if you can identify the song.
Oh, right.
And you have like 6 guesses.
That's fun.
It's very fun. I had a good time with that. Anyways.
So second most, yeah, that makes sense.
Of course they're the second most talked about, but it is very funny to see like a Twitter Q1 gaming review and see it come up with Wordle. It's just funny to have it in the same category as Apex Legends, as Minecraft, as Genshin Impact, as Elden Ring.
It's pretty wild. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just one of those lockdown things that was a moment in time, and it's still continuing. But man,
yeah.
it's wild that it has staying power now that we're all out and doing it. You know, hey. Speaking of adorable games that you can play before bed, Saige.
Tell me of adorable games you can play before bed.
Haunted Chocolatier is coming.
That's true. Okay, so I realize we're going to have a little bit of trouble playing this because we don't have audio. It might have to be a let's let it be loud and pick up on the mics kind of situation.
Why is it not working?
I do not know.
I also don't want to use the IGN.
You don't have
player.
to. I have a link.
Okay, great.
In the article.
In the article.
In the article is in there. So, the creator and composer for Concerned Ape, the developer of the game that does pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Eric Barone, went on Reason Studios podcast, did a live stream and was talking about Haunted Chocolatier. There were some things that imply that there will be boss battles as he wanted to show off a new song for Haunted Chocolatier. Of course, Haunted Chocolatier is the follow-up to Stardew Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And the song is titled Bee Boss.
Bee Boss.
Anthony, it's so fucking good.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Are you playing it?
I'm going to try.
You gonna give it a go?
I want to see what happens.
Okay.
We're going to see what happens here. Believe in us.
Can it happen?
Can it
I'm
happen?
writing it. Oh, there we go. Just wait. How terrible does this sound for you?
Pretty much silent.
Incredible. It's just us dancing in silence.
Yep.
Are your speakers bad?
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
I think it was dance to silence is best. I ain't got nothing. Incredible. They got essentially nothing from that. I'm guessing some of the filters on our microphones probably filtered it out because it sounded like garbage.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm going to drop a link in the chat.
Super weird.
I turned my volume up and can hear it. That is a YouTube link with a timestamp in it, so you can listen to it for yourselves. It's very good chip tone. Chip tune. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's chip tune, but it's got a good chip tone to it.
Chip tune. It's very good.
The chip tones are immaculate.
A very good chip tune.
Very excited for Haunted Chocolatier.
I'm super stoked for this game.
I do want to, we have late breaking news.
Oh?
About Lego Skywalker Saga.
Late breaking news?
Late breaking news. Somebody captured a video that I noticed. This is on the title screen of the game. And I'm just going to show you. Finn and Poe spend the entire title screen with their arms around each other, making eyes at one another.
Rose sitting a foot off.
Okay, so here's what's great. Rose gets Jar Jar and then stuns him.
Incredible.
Phasma trying to put the helmet back onto Finn.
Thank you, Lego Skywalker Saga, for doing what we all deserve.
Let me tell you how that begins, though.
Tell me.
The title screen starts with Finn being carried by Rose.
Uh-huh.
And then he sees Poe come out and jumps out of Rose's arms. Like, he looks over at Poe like, oh, I should not be doing this. And jumps out and runs over to Poe.
Oh my God, he took 2 dates to the prom.
Lego Skywalker Saga.
He's got 2 different dates at this restaurant.
It's on, he's running back and forth.
He's saying he's got to go to the bathroom.
He's putting on a hat.
Yeah.
He's putting on a hat at one table, taking off a hat at the other table. Amazing. Amazing. Twitter, of course, a wonderful place to share things and find stuff like that. Twitter, of course, a perfect, wonderful social media outlet that we all love and enjoy. Twitter, of course, just a wonderful place to be. And it's about to get even better, babies. Because Elon Musk just bought 9.2% of Twitter. He is now the largest shareholder of Twitter in the world. He is not a controlling shareholder, but he does own the most. He was also, coincidentally, how weird, how strange, invited to join the board of Twitter after this happened. He literally bought his way in, as we all knew he would, because he doesn't like the way Twitter is going for him. Elon Musk doesn't like that he's just getting dunked on Twitter. Elon Musk, of course, the person who famously would cancel a reporter's pre-order for a Tesla if that reporter gave a, not even a bad review, just a critical review of a Tesla.
And he's gotten in a ton of like FCC trouble with his own Twitter account in the past, by the way, like blatantly not only violating Twitter policy, but like legal issues around his Twitter of the things that he's posted
not
about.
Not just the SEC as well.
Yeah, SEC. Maybe.
The SEC as well. Like, he is manipulating stocks live on the internet.
Right.
All day, every day, when he's not posting Hitler memes. This guy's the worst.
I will also say, and what was something that was interesting about this is before it was announced that he had bought some shares, the 9% share in Twitter, he posted some tweets that were polls right there. There were things like this, like, do you believe it is essential to a functioning democracy for free speech? Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to this principle? The consequences of this poll will be important. Please vote carefully. Very interesting that he announced that before announcing that he purchased it, but had already purchased 9% of Twitter at this point. With what he purchased, he had 10 days to publicly report.
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't do it.
He just didn't do it.
He waited 21 days to publicly report that he had bought his share of Twitter.
After spending all of that time manipulating the value of Twitter.
Correct. And here's the thing. He doesn't give a shit.
No.
Because it's a $100,000 fine.
He doesn't care.
That's pocket change for Elon Musk. That's not a big enough threat for him not to violate these things.
SEC
because
fines.
laws that involve fines are actually only ever able to meant to oppress poor people. That's it.
SEC fines should be proportional to the size of the infringement because it doesn't matter anymore. Corporations and billionaires and oligarchs are manipulating the financial markets every fucking day because, hey, if you can make an extra $23 million in a day and all it costs you is $100,000 that you already have, do the math.
Yeah.
You're a capitalist. What are you going to do?
He's making so much more than he's losing. He's completely unfazed by this. Even if he wasn't making money on it, even if he wasn't affected by the Twitter stock going up, $100,000 is literally nothing for him.
It's fucking wild. $100,000 for him is like I see that packet of peanut butter cups at the Starbucks checkout.
Yeah.
And I throw it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a little treat. That's what $100,000 is to him.
Yes.
If
Equivalent of
even-
$3 peanut butter cups.
If even that much.
Correct.
It's fucking wild. It's gross. The CEO of Twitter made like a big tweet afterwards that was just like, oh, it's so exciting. We've been having discussions with him for the last couple weeks, and we're so excited to have him on the board. We think he has so many interesting things to say, and blah, 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 blah.
Elon Musk has never had anything interesting to say.
He's just gonna, and here's the thing, he's just gonna galvanize these edgelords that follow him everywhere.
Yep.
That do everything because they bought Tesla stock and it did well. And now they're like, oh my God, he's a genius. He's the God King Pope of the internet. And if he tells them vote in a certain way on Twitter issues, they're going to do it.
Fuck Elon Musk today and every day. An absolute get wrecked. And this is very, very unfortunate because it's not like Twitter was like by any means like a beacon of good. But it wasn't owned by Mark Zuckerberg. So it was like a little bit of a relief in that when like your big few are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok I consider in a separate category personally. Mm-hmm. I set that more towards like a content platform like YouTube. But if 2 out of 3 were owned by Zuck, it was like, well, fuck, at least this one's not the Zuck.
Hey, do y'all remember when Elon Musk used Twitter to call somebody who was rescuing someone trapped in a cave a pedophile because they didn't use an Elon Musk submarine to do it?
I do.
Do you remember that? Do you remember when Elon Musk on Twitter called Justin Trudeau literally Hitler?
Yes.
Said Hitler was better than Justin Trudeau? You remember that? You remember all the terrible things Elon Musk does with Twitter every day? You remember, right?
This is the meme that he tweeted out.
That was Elon Musk.
Elon Musk posted this on the internet.
This Pickle Rick loving motherfucker just has way too much power in our world.
The Twitter account for Auschwitz had to step in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. He's a bad person, and now he owns 9.2% of Twitter.
Anyways, be aware of that.
Be aware.
Now you know.
If you're using Twitter for anything except, I don't know, if you're using Twitter for anything, really, don't use Twitter.
But like what, right? Then
But
what?
like what?
But then what?
But like what then? I mean, who knows? But it can't be Twitter. We got to do something. It can't be Twitter.
Let's talk about something good.
Sure.
I would love to give a little bit of good news.
It's about Lego Skywalker.
It's not about Lego Skywalker.
What?
Shockingly enough, it's about Fortnite.
Fortnite? Well, go on.
Alongside chapter 3 of season 2 of Fortnite, the current running game, Epic has been raising money for Ukraine. And in just over 2 weeks, has raised $144 million.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's the power of Ryu with a shotgun.
I mean, genuinely, I'm so fucking thrilled and impressed by this. Like, that is so incredible.
Yeah.
That's so much money raised. And it's just like, I think it's a moment where we should reflect on all of these larger companies that do not do such things and go, okay, Epic made a big fucking move here of setting expectations. And I would like to see other games as services in particular, which would be the easiest to fundraise through, participating in these kind of things, because we don't see this, especially not of a game of this size. The games that we always see raising money are indie games.
Yeah.
It is always
Usually.
indie games. It's the platforms like itch.io. We don't see a lot of things like this, and it's so effective when it happens.
We do want to mention and shout out the Horizon thing that happened earlier, where they were doing the reforestation project. But things like that for large games, you're right, are extremely rare. This started with Chapter 3, Season 2, which is Season 2, Chapter 3, which Chapter 3, Season 2.
Chapter 3, Season 2.
Yeah, which was the season that removed building.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of new people jumped on, and they said that even if you jumped on once during that, there wasn't like a tiny little sliver of time that they were running this. They backdated it to the beginning of that season, so all proceeds from that season went in. Love this.
This is fantastic. Again, as always, we like to say here, please do stay informed through actual news sources about Putin's war in Ukraine. It is important. Do not become desensitized. Do not become tired by it, where you lose focus on what is happening. Some pieces of information came out on Monday that made me want to throw up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important to stay informed on these things because they matter.
And it's also important to stay informed on these things from people who are not like us or are us. It's important to read actual news sources and go to people that are way more qualified than probably 90% of the people that do the videos and streams that I watch every day.
Yes. So if we can be anything, we will just be your reminder to read some actual news as well today.
In additional good news.
Okay.
Particularly feel-good news.
Okay.
Marcel the Shell. Do y'all remember, hey, let's pretend it's 10 years ago on the internet.
At least 10.
Probably 12. I think it was 2010. You're watching the internet, and a little video comes up, and it's Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Do you remember this?
11 years ago. I do,
Yeah.
absolutely, I do.
This was Jenny Slate. This was like the first thing anybody had ever seen from Jenny Slate before she was a writer and actor in Hollywood. And they were so adorable. So adorable. And now A24 has announced that Marcel the Shell is getting a film.
That's phenomenal. And the fact that it's A24 is so funny to me.
Saige, we cannot play the sound to this, so obviously we cannot play the entire trailer, but I was choked up from just this Marcel the Shell trailer.
Wow.
It is, you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
It's very cute.
It's amazing. It's all about Marcel. It's all about Marcel, who lives with her Nana, and she knows that she used to have a big family, but she doesn't know where they are. And so she's going to go find her family. And she's going to go find her community because she knows there are people out there that are like her.
Come on. Little family tree. Come on.
And it's just it's beautiful looking.
I'm going to drop a link in chat.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with this trailer. I watched it like 4 times last night. It's so good.
That's great.
And it uses Phil Collins' Take Me Home.
Wow.
Do you remember that song? It's whoo. That's a heartstring tugger, that song. Put that with a tiny adorable shell with a squeaky Jenny Slate voice.
Yeah.
That'll tug at your heartstrings, dog.
I can't believe A24 is doing it.
A24 is crushing it.
It's fucking wild. I love A24 movies. But holy shit. Anything with Phil Collins means I'm gonna cry.
The Tarzan soundtrack. Let us all remember that all he had to do was turn in his homework. And instead he gave us the Tarzan soundtrack.
So true. That was so much extra credit.
Whew. Damn.
Should we ruin it?
Yeah, movies giveth and movies taketh away. This was posted in the Discord by Salamanda yesterday. And
hey,
thank you, but also how dare you.
Now, this was a rumor a while back.
This is a rumor back in November we talked about this, but there was no corroboration for it.
Right. And of course, at the time, everybody had been making memes.
Right. It was the Mario had just happened. The Mario movie had just happened.
The Mario movie had just happened, and Chris Pratt was announced as the voice of Mario. And now, what I feel like is a personal attack on Anthony.
It really is.
Chris Pratt has been confirmed. Let me try that again. Chris Pratt has been confirmed to be voicing Garfield in a Garfield movie.
Dare you? How dare you? How dare you do this to the Garf? Usually I am the one garfing people, but I got garfed.
Anthony, you got garfed.
I got so garfed on this one. This is Mark Dindal, who was the director of Chicken Little, is making a fully animated Garfield movie, which you hear that noise, and I'm like, oh,
ooh, okay, yeah.
Sure, I could watch that. That's probably going to be interesting. Fucking Chris Pratt. And it was just a tweet from Discussing Film. So I was like, all right, that's a tweet. Tweet don't mean nothing. Tweet don't mean nothing. But uh-oh, Saige. I went to the IMDb.
Yeah.
And there it was. Mark Dindal, written by Jim Davis, Paul Kaplan, David Reynolds, Chris Pratt. So rude. How dare. On
the bright side.
Oh, I love this.
Garfield creator Jim Davis' response to being asked about the Will Smith slap said, I don't really keep up with the Oscars. I mainly just make Garfield comic strips.
This isn't real, but I loved it so much.
It's very funny.
I must have sent it to 20 people.
I sent it to you first.
Did you?
Proud of that.
Oh, shit. I loved it. I just make Garfield comic strips.
I mostly just make Garfield comic strips. Also, we were offline the week of the slap. We wouldn't have talked about it anyways.
We wouldn't have talked about the slap.
Literally, no.
The only person who had the correct take on the slap was Harold Potter, the boy wizard.
Oh yeah.
Harold Patner.
He was just like,
the boy wizard was like, why are you asking for this?
That.
That's boring. I think everybody's opinions are boring, and why would I add to that? It's just tiring reading about this. And I was like, yes.
Correct. Let's continue. I have one last piece of game news. But I didn't put a link to it. That's probably why we skipped it. 2 Point Campus has been delayed until August. That's a game that I'm personally very much looking forward to. It was supposed to be out in just a few weeks in May, and unfortunately it has been delayed into August. Look, we're so used to game delays at this point. But I'm a sucker for a little business sim.
You love a little business sim.
I love a little business sim. The 2 Point games are adorable and lovely, but Hospital is not my setting.
Yeah, 2 Point Hospital is fun, but the thing is, hospital administration and the idea of how hospitals are run
Makes me very uncomfortable and not for me.
pretty thorny for me.
Yeah, I'm somebody with a little bit of hospital ick. I have a little bit of a hard time with medical things. So 2 Point Hospital is not for me, but 2 Point Campus?
Now that I love.
So in.
Now, so for me, 2 Point Hospital is more just about like, I hate thinking of hospital as business.
Yes,
That's
I
the thing.
agree.
I'm not icky about hospitals. I hate thinking of hospitals as business. I sort of hate thinking about
Hospitals.
colleges as business.
Yes.
Particularly, here in the United States, but it's a lot less of an issue to me than 2 Point Hospital is. Why don't make 2 Point Hotel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm fine with running a campus. That's fine in a video game. That's better for me than a hospital.
Yeah.
Did
Did I what? Did I what?
you want to show a tweet that you pulled up? Did you want to show a tweet that you pulled up, Anthony?
This useless old ice cream eating man. This is no Twitter anymore. Joe Biden tweeted that last night. In America, healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. Hey, buddy. If only there was someone who could do something about that.
Call the president.
Don't. What do I do? What do I do? I thought I was gonna pick up the red phone, and it turns out I have 2 melting ice cream cones. It's me, Joe Biden. This motherfucker who said who said if single payer healthcare comes across my desk, I'll veto it. And then he tweets this shit. This is why no Twitter anymore. No Twitter anymore. I'm tired. Listen, as an intense leftist, I am so tired of Democrats doing just the standard corporate business work that all the rest of government does, and then tweeting, "Who did this? Oh no! We're all looking for the guy who did this.
We're all looking for the guy who did this.
Who took your rights? Oh no! Oh,
Who is it keeping you from having this? We gotta find that guy.
Dude, we're all looking for him. Oh, wait, what, COVID tests are $150 now? Who did that to you?
No.
Who did that to you? That's so crazy. I'm Joe Biden. I'm your friend.
That's Joe Biden. Somebody put Joe Biden's face on that meme.
Come on. Come on, you garbage people. No more Twitter.
Anyways, remember to criticize your government today. I should have said this was more Chris Pratt news, and I didn't make that transition. Let's go back a minute. In more Chris Pratt news. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We know it is in production. I'm a little bit lukewarm on it, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I loved Guardians.
Sure.
And unfortunately, Chris Pratt has ruined Guardians for me twice over. 1, in being himself, and 2, in being Star-Lord.
Yeah.
In and out of character, Chris Pratt has ruined Guardians of the Galaxy for me personally.
Do you know what I think it is? Other than the Chris Pratt of it all with Star-Lord.
Oh, I mean, I know.
I think it's a thing. It really seems to me like Marvel doesn't want to point to a character, to one of their heroes and say, this guy's a dirtbag.
Right.
They don't want to do that.
When really they should commit to that because he has made dirtbag moves, and then they're still like, but he's a good guy.
Yeah. So like, because you look at Peacemaker and you're like, and they go, this guy's a dirtbag.
Uh-huh.
He's the worst.
Yes.
Honestly,
DC's very willing to call their people dirtbags.
Honestly, this guy is bad and he's horrible, and this whole show is about him trying not to be because he realizes that he's horrible.
Yeah.
But as a horrible person, he doesn't know what it's like to be a good person, and so he's having a hard time.
Yes.
They won't do that with Star-Lord.
No. Even though Star-Lord is a terrible person. Anyways, Guardians 3 has broken a world record. For what, you might ask?
For number of Garfields in the movie? Number of Super Marios in the movie?
No, for neither of those things.
Although
nor
it did.
number of church pamphlets passed out on set. They broke a world record for most makeup appliances created for a single production. So a makeup appliance is a piece that's like considered in prosthetics generally, that you put on someone's face to make them look different.
Yeah.
It's the pieces that they put on to do special effects
You
makeup.
know, elf ears, a nose, a scar, anything that's like even some like bruises or cuts are appliances, right?
Yeah, bruises not generally. A lot of the time cuts will be if they have to have a dimensional effect to them, but also larger pieces like face pieces for alien creatures that make their entire face shape look different. Anything
like that. And the reason why this is exciting to me, this is a very calculated announcement because there's a very vocal group of people who are like practical effects. We want these things to be done in camera. We want these things to be done real. We think it looks better. We think the actors act better when these things are realistic, right? That's what these people are saying. I agree to a certain extent. And so when they make an announcement, we got a world record for the highest number of makeup prosthetics on a film. What they're saying is, we're doing this live.
We're doing a lot of practical effects. The record was previously held by the Grinch, live action Grinch.
Yeah, I believe that. There's so many
every
who's.
single person in the city had to have one, every background performer, everybody.
So many who's in Whoville.
Love that. That's excellent.
It's cool. I like it a lot. I just love here's the thing. I love the vibe of the Guardians movies so much. But I'll tell you what, once that first Guardians movie came out and the rest of Marvel started loosening up, it's like, I mean, now it's like Thor out Guardians.
That's the thing, is Guardians is no longer as like impressive to me when Ragnarok's right there. Like Ragnarok's a better time for me.
Ooh, it's the distracted boyfriend meme and it's Guardians and Ragnarok. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Love and Thunder's coming.
Right.
Whew, but I do have excitement for Guardians. I do.
I have like just less than I would have had a couple years ago, you know?
Sure.
Because I was a big Guardians fan.
I really am of the opinion that, like, okay, we should know when people are truly terrible and do not deserve to work. But I don't want to know about people where I'm just like, ugh, ick. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we were much better off when we knew less in general, in a way. Like, I want the corruption taken out, but I don't want to know that somebody has, like, icky religious beliefs. I mean,
no, as a queer
know.
person, I want to know when you're supporting conversion therapy.
Okay, now that's fair. That's 100% fair.
I'd like to know that.
That's 100% fair.
That's where my line is personally.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, sure, you have a church that I don't agree with or don't, like, dig.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one thing. Money into conversion therapy.
Well, I'm not talking about this dude in particular necessarily. I'm just talking about, like, hey, if you're a dummy, I hope you've hired somebody smart to have you keep your mouth shut. That's all. Like,
I don't.
Like,
I hope you show yourself. I hope you show yourself, and I hope you get absolutely fucked for it.
No, but once again,
I hope if you have shitty fucking opinions, you put those shitty fucking opinions on the internet so we know. Because there's a whole lot of celebrities, and goddamn, there are plenty of white guys.
Yeah, and once again, I'm not saying things like conversion therapy and stuff like that. I'm saying like, oh, just, I wish I knew less about how dumb people were so I can enjoy more things.
Sure.
That's all.
Yeah, that's a thing that...
It's ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss comes from a place of privilege.
Yeah.
The bliss of ignorance does not apply to everyone. Not everyone gets to receive bliss from ignorance because they don't get to be ignorant. You know?
I get it. No, that I get it. I'm just saying that's where the thing comes from.
I get it.
That's why they say ignorance is bliss.
I understand the desire.
Yeah.
I don't personally have it at this point because ignorance is death for a lot of people.
I just don't. it all comes for me. It all just comes back to this Twitter thing of I just don't want to know what everybody's thinking all the time anymore.
Yes.
You know, it's like I feel like I'm one of the X-Men in that just gets their powers, and it's like, oh no, I've got mind reading powers and I don't know how to turn them off.
Yeah.
And everybody is a ding dang moron. That's basically it.
Yeah. I think we only have like one more piece of news. Star Trek Picard, everybody.
Picard is an interesting experiment, isn't it? This sort of like soft reboot, long-term sequel. The first season of Picard was very strange.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
It was off.
Okay.
It was off. But season 2 is a little better. They brought back John Delancey as Q. They're doing this whole thing where it's like, uh-oh, Picard's in a bad universe.
Right.
And he's got to make it the good universe. He can't just leave because he's Picard.
Yeah.
You can't leave a bad universe out there. That's not what Jean-Luc Picard does. But it's still a weird show.
Okay.
But it's getting better. But they made an announcement for season 3.
Yes.
Pretty
People
big
are
deal.
Stoked.
I mean, I'm stoked. I feel like this is what it should have been in the beginning, right? Because what they announced is that the entire Next Gen cast is coming back. Now, why wasn't this the ding-dang thing to begin with?
It is interesting that it took until season 3, and I do wonder, I would love to know what it is behind the scenes that caused that. In that, was it that they had to kind of proof of concept for a little bit to convince a lot of the cast to come back? Is it intentionally saved for a reveal to keep the momentum of a show going? I'm very curious.
I would say I have not finished season 2. Like I said, I watched just like a couple episodes.
I think season 2 isn't, according to Zomino, that season 2 isn't even over yet.
It's close, but yeah, it's not over yet. I haven't watched all of it. I've only watched a couple episodes, but it didn't feel like it was moving towards this naturally.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? This feels like a swap to the story, and I think that's cool that they're doing this, but I really do wish this had just been season 1.
Very interesting.
You know, maybe they only intended to make it like a mini series thing. Maybe it was like, oh, we'll do this for a season.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like that either. I don't know. Maybe like because they only brought back a couple cast members for the original season, it did sort of feel like, oh, let's do like a love letter goodbye to Captain Picard.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Paramount Plus just didn't have a lot going on.
Shocking.
And it turned out to be super popular. And I think Discovery was sort of flagging in the ratings. And so they were like, well, this is our Star Trek. Let's do this again. Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
But man, come on. Why don't you just start with this? No half measures.
How does everybody who's watched it in the chat feel?
No.
Do you feel like this is coming out of nowhere? Do you feel like this is a little too late?
Flatlander says, I thought season 1 was good and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will die on this hill. It wasn't bad. It was just weird. It didn't feel like Star Trek to me.
Okay.
It was just, I mean, different isn't bad, but like, it was just weird. You know? It was just weird. 54 Aquasnake says too late. Jesse PB says Discovery's been enjoyable, but not incredible. Now, Discovery is taking the position of we're going to introduce characters that you already know and love, but younger and hotter. So, like, Hot Spock is a big deal in Discovery.
Hot Spock.
Hot Spock is a big deal in Discovery.
Let me see how hot is Spock.
And they just announced who the new Kirk's going to be.
Let me see. not what I was expecting.
No, he's still Spock, but he's like, this is hot Spock.
It's the facial hair for me. Okay, look. Having nothing to do with this human man's personal, actual physical appearance, right? All choices that they've made for him. Bieber cut, they said hot Spock, but make it 2006.
Yeah.
Facial hair, they said, you gotta keep him weird, so we're gonna do pointy chops. No, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a pass for me.
Well, you can see him in his full Spockiness in the picture to the left there.
Much hotter.
Much hotter, I think.
Much hotter.
But he's definitely, like, it's so funny. Between him and Zachary Quinto, like, you think about...
Hair?
Yeah, look at that. He's got very, like...
He's got Bieber swoop.
He's got very Krypton vibes. You remember the show Krypton? He looks like he's from the sci-fi original series Krypton, where everybody on the planet Krypton wore leather jackets. Between him and Zachary Quinto, it's like really funny how Spock is just like hot now. Like, it's interesting to me. Leonard Nimoy, interesting looking cat. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool guy. Very like Leonard Nimoy sexy in a Leonard Nimoy way.
Sure, yeah.
But Spock is pretty now. You know?
Yeah.
And I never like Spock has like pretty features and angular, whereas like Leonard Nimoy was
ECW
just,
Spock.
yeah, and Leonard Nimoy was like interesting and sort of like rugged looking, which I guess is how I picture everybody from the 60s.
Zomino said it was emotionally damaged, disheveled hair. I know that that's what it is.
Yeah,
but what that is a Bieber haircut.
Yeah, your hair when you're out there alone and your beard is growing and your hair is getting shaggy, it doesn't cut itself into a perfect bowl cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, now there's my guy.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
It's a good looking dude.
I find that to be a better looking dude. And not, again, when it comes down to like physical appearance, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
he has more like interesting features.
I think you and I are the same way in that, like, there is like a perfect Hollywood look right now, a perfect and pretty Hollywood look that like isn't for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me.
Sure.
I mean, you know what I think. I think the attractiveness of Hollywood peaked with The Mummy.
Yeah. I mean, that's just true.
I think The Mummy was
that's an undisputed fact.
It was just unquestionably the hottest cast of all time.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was the last time I looked at people and I was like, these are people. You could see this person on the street.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I feel like everybody in Hollywood came out of tubes and pods.
I can agree with that. I also, the CW look, the people just look like babies to me.
They do. They look like babies
forever.
forever.
It's a little young for me. It's a little young for me.
They look like
even though these are people my age.
Symmetrical babies.
It's not for me.
Perfectly symmetrical babies. Chris Plowman, don't you speak that into existence? Chris Plowman in the live studio audience says Mummy remake with Chris Pratt surely in the works.
Yeah,
don't you do that.
Don't do that.
Don't you do that.
Anthony, while we were streaming,
a
new Doctor
the
Strange
famous
trailer
Sandra
dropped.
Bullock movie.
Did you hear it? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, new Doctor Strange.
A new Doctor Strange trailer dropped.
I'm ready for that.
Are you ready for it? Should we watch it?
I mean, we don't have sound.
We don't have sound. Oh, you know what? We won't watch the Doctor Strange trailer because there isn't sound. And also, there are a lot of people, specifically with Marvel trailers, that are a little particular about spoilers and feel like the trailers reveal too much. So we're not going to watch it here today.
But it is out there.
But it is out there if you want to check it out. But there was one last piece of news. More of a conversation topic. Games plus guns.
Oh.
Did you have that one pulled up?
What are you, the U.S. Senate in the 1990s?
Games are the problem, not guns. Would you pull up the one that you had? Because it's not in here.
The one I had.
Yes.
For what?
The topic at hand, Anthony.
I never had anything in here for that. I don't think. Where would it be?
You did it. It was chess or chess.
Oh.
It was how this whole thing came up.
Oh, I thought. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I didn't know we were doing that. Okay. No, do the other one.
The point was to do both because it made me think of this. I saw a TikTok going around the other day showing off this game. Now this game is called Longvintner. And let's watch the trailer together, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
This is not a new game. This actually came out last year. Sorry, what was that in the very beginning?
Nothing. It's cool. It's just an Animal Crossing style game. It's fine. You didn't see anything. You can just
Okay, it's very Animal Crossing-like. It is clearly modeled after Animal Crossing.
You just go fishing with your friends and stuff. And
down to the triangle nose, except they only did one character model. Okay.
Yeah. You can build tents. It's very nice.
Oh, look you have your little tent. Then look at you upgrade it to a house at some point. Even some of the furniture items strongly resemble Animal Crossing furniture items. I do think this is cool because it has a multiplayer aspect where you could build houses on the same island. I think that's a lot of fun. Okay, make allies, explore nature, take risks. Ooh, what's the risk? Oh, what's that?
Oh, there are compounds on the island. That seems strange.
We're looting a compound. What was in their hand? Survive what?
Oh, survive that. Oh, okay.
There are a bunch of wild turkeys about too.
Oh, all right. Well, now here's where I land on something like this. If you want to do a fun little goof like this, I'm like, yeah, it's funny for like 15 seconds. This is an early access game on Steam.
It's a whole ass game.
This is a real game. Who looked at Animal Crossing and was like,
needs more guns.
Needed machine guns. Like it does give me those Pal World vibes, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where
it
it's
is
like,
intended to.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, okay, it's Pokemon, but like, why is nobody shooting each other?
Yeah, I'm not really feeling it until they're shooting each other.
Yeah, who plays Animal Crossing is like, it's dope, but why aren't they shooting each other? And if this is your thing, like, I guess I'm glad you have it, but it's wild to me that somebody takes this sort of, because it feels like it starts as a gag, right?
I think it's still a gag. I think it's a joke game.
Yeah?
I think it's a committed joke, but I think it's a joke game.
I think the more you make it a game, though, the more it has to work like a game, the less it becomes a joke.
Okay, well, let's talk about how it works then.
Yeah.
This is a recent review. They said, buckle up for the most positive negative review ever. And they went down a list of pros and cons. Having sunk a few hours into this game, I've experienced its pros and cons. The pros. The game is very cute, like Animal Crossing / Rust crossover. The emoting to other players is cute, friendly, fun as well. I enjoy the collection aspect of the game. I hope that they add more to collect. The fishing in games always gets a pro rating out of me. And I enjoy the building aspects, although a bit buggy. Now to the cons. The server crashes are frequent, and losing hours of progress is always disheartening.
Yeah.
The community is toxic, but what do you expect from this genre of game, really? The bugs are outrageous. Yes, I know it's in early access. The constant server wipes make it hard to play the game at all. The inflation of in-game items does not scale well with the price of selling items, $5,000 for a crafting bench. Really? Longvintner is a very fun game if you play for an hour and don't get attached to anything you've progressed to obtain. In the state it's in, I just can't recommend it, but I will stay fingers crossed with the game's progress development.
Now, this is a thing where if this was on itch.io and this was like a kludged together, kind of broken, funny, silly thing, I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
No, they're trying to run a game.
This is a real game, and that's what I'm saying is like people, that's the review of somebody who's taking this seriously. And once you start taking this seriously, it is just it's a survival crafting game with the aesthetics of Animal Crossing.
Here's what I think it is. I think that foundationally, the game is not a joke, but I think the aesthetic is a joke.
Right.
It looks like Animal Crossing as a joke. I don't think it's genuinely, I love Animal Crossing, but I just wish that I could shoot people in it, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
I think it doesn't start from that place. I think it's, I want to make a game like this. It would be so funny if it looked like Animal Crossing.
That's what I'm saying. I think it starts as a joke.
Yeah.
And then it turns into, the more you develop it, the more it's like, this can no longer be a joke. There is no irony left in this.
Some other reviews said that there have been updates that like had huge stability fixes. So like,
hey, good for them.
I'm so curious.
Like, do you remember there was an itch game that was Animal Crossing, but there was a murderer?
Yeah.
Do you remember? And it, like, I played it on stream. It took 45 minutes. It was funny because it was using the aesthetics of Animal Crossing to tell a horror story. And it was good. And it did what it was supposed to. And then it was out. And I think that's how you make a joke or a parody of something like this. I think this is like, This wants you to log in and do your dailies and shoot people in Animal Crossing.
This
and that
does
I'm just
not.
like, eh.
This does not bother me like Pal World did. I love how
No.
you were like having fun with Pal World.
Now, Pal World, I was doing a bit of having fun with it because I knew how much it was killing your soul.
I find Pal World incredibly disturbing. Pal World, they also had some weird like labor issues with Pokemon.
It's the work camps. It's the Pokemon work camps.
It's everything for me.
Yeah.
This does not bother me as much, and I find it kind of funny. Not in the sense of a joke that I would make, but like it's cringy and
Now, I do like the idea
goofy.
of somebody who plays something like Tarkov or something like that, making this their daily.
Yes.
You know, I do.
It's the
that part of it is
equivalent
funny.
of them's fighting herds.
Yeah, it's funny to me that somebody who's probably playing the rest of these games that takes them seriously is logging into Longvintner seriously and playing the game seriously. Now
Should I try it on stream?
That's hilarious. Pal World goes back to the thing we were talking about. The reason I think Pal World hurts us more than Longvintner does is Pal World.
Cute animals.
The cute
in
animals.
labor camps.
Yeah,
it's pretty clear.
That is multiplayer. Those adorable little children are all real people.
Yeah. People making choices.
Yeah. Whereas like they put those animals into slavery in Pal World.
Anyways, this was all inspired by a conversation Anthony and I were having before the show where somebody built chess but with guns.
Yeah, so this I think is funny. This is like ridiculous fishing.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There was a new Ludum Dare, and this is shotgun chess. This is great.
Funny.
This is actually very funny.
So genuinely funny.
You have to reload. You can't move yourself into check. So it does still have chess rules. You cannot move yourself into check. So you have to be careful where you move with your king.
That's so funny.
This is basically just speed chess. That's hilarious.
Speed chess with guns.
That's hilarious.
Part
of the same Ludum Dare is, whoops. Ludum Dare, this person made just like...
My retro neighborhood is now in VR chat community labs.
Yeah, your friendly 1970s real estate agent.
Incredible.
So you browse it like a Zillow, and then this fuzzy real estate agent cat takes you through and shows you all of these 70s homes.
VR chat is trash, and I love it.
Ludum Dare is wild.
Anyways, it is 9:30. That's all we have time for. Everybody, we're all done.
We're all done. Oh my God. Sorry.
Many noises.
Sorry.
Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, we do the show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific, and we hope that you will join us again on Friday. You can also catch us twice here on this channel on Friday because we go live in the morning for the news, and then we come back in the evening for Failed Save.
Can you believe?
Have not been telling people. I'm trying not to give spoilers on what happened on Failed Save this week. I'm going to give them one full week before I'm going to talk about any Failed Save spoilers. So if you haven't caught up, catch the fuck up. Shit is going down, and it is going to be a wild one this week following that up. So,
did something big happen on Failed Save?
We'll see you at 7 p.m. then as well.
I feel like I'd remember if something big happened on Failed Save.
Who could say? Thank you to everybody who supported us during the show today. We appreciate you so very much. We are going to go through and we're going to thank everybody who did so. We don't shout out subs and stuff like that during the show because we're doing a show. But we do like to, after the fact. Can't see my other screen.
Before we do that, though, Saige, where are you at on the internet?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel on days. My schedule is changing up a lot right now.
She does. I've seen it. It happens on days.
Stream on days, including today's day. I will be streaming later today. I just celebrated my 1-year partner anniversary. We had a fun stream on Monday. It was a good time. You can find me on this channel all the damn time, Tuesdays, Fridays as well for D&D goodness. D&D channel tomorrow. I'm around. What about you, Anthony?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I am at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. Of course, I have my science comedy podcast with Jeff Kanata. It's called We Have Concerns. This week's episode was all about moon trees. The moon trees live among us, Saige. Trees from the moon.
Fuck yeah.
Believe it. Listen to that at wehaveconcerns.com. And, that's stuff. That's where I'm at.
That stuff. Soul Reaper Flores, thank you for that 9-month resub. John Doe, subscribing for 9 months as well, said always good to wake up early with the best show around. King Sassafras with a $10 donation, very kind of you, said happy hump day. Thank you very much. We had an anonymous $20 tip as well. Who did that? Show yourself. Jam and Far for 4 months. Thank you for coming back for a 4th month. 54 Aqua Snakes with $9.69. Nice, said happy hump day as well. Gooch with the Fur for 7 months said it's true. This is the only morning show. Love the content. Danny Boy's Calling Pipes gifting a sub to PS Witch. Martinis 42 at 6 gifting a sub to E Lackey. Not the real Dan Lynch with the bits. Mary Berries like bake off to me. Okay, take over then, Anthony.
Mary Berry's subscribed with Prime. Thank you for taking a little bit of money out of Jeffy's pockets. Danny Boy's Calling Pipes with a gift sub. Emily Green with the resub for 10 months. Thank you. That is a good chunk of time. Not the real Dan Lynch giving a sub to Lecto. Chris Plowman giving a gift sub to Blue Nova 66. Y'all are so generous. I love this. Chris Plowman also resubscribed with those Prime subs for 11 months. Thank you for those Beezy bucks. Not the real Dan Lynch with the resub for 7 months, saying 7 months of me dancing to the intro music while I make coffee, much to my wife's annoyance.
Sorry to your wife, but thank you to you.
Thank you to everybody that supported us during the show today. We really appreciate it. As you know, we are freelance, which means we are unemployed.
Yeah.
We do not work very much at all, and we do not have much money.
Well, no, we work a lot. But we make little money.
We make a very small money.
That's freelance, baby.
So these donations go directly to us. All of your subscriptions and your Patreon memberships, of course, go to the overall network, so we can run the upkeep, get the software, get the equipment, paint this shed to look like it's not a shed. Yep. Sneaky, sneaky. You wouldn't know we were in a shed. So thank you very much for your support. We really appreciate it.
Take care of yourselves, pals, and we will see you on Friday.
Bye, BBs.